Hello, I'm Karen Gothier, and welcome to this segment of the 2014-15 Nemertes Enterprise Technology Benchmark Key Findings, featuring Robin Gareiss, President of Nemertes, and the topic of IT spending and staffing. So what is the outlook for IT spending?
Well, Karen, the outlook right now in terms of IT budgets for the majority of companies is either flat or down. So about 60% of companies are either flat or down with their IT spending this year. But among those companies that do plan to increase their IT spending, they're increasing it at a pretty healthy clip. It's about 11%. So if you're in that category where you're increasing your IT budget, again, pretty healthy, but most organizations are flat or down. Now, when we look at some of the breakdowns of the budgets, right now what we're seeing is financial services and higher education actually spending the most on IT when we measure it as a percentage of revenue, so IT budget as a percentage of revenue. Energy and pharmaceuticals are actually low end of that, of what they're spending as a percentage of revenue. The one interesting point that we saw this year, though, if you're in the mid-sized companies, this is probably one of the reasons we see a lot of vendors going after the mid-market. Mid-sized companies are actually increasing their IT budget at a much faster and healthier pace than larger or smaller companies.
What about staffing? Are companies hiring IT?
Yeah, well, that's an interesting one because staffing right now doesn't look so great. We've got most companies, about 56% are flat for the year, and about 10% are down. So, not so great on the staffing front. And in fact, since the recession ended, we've tracked the percentage of companies each year that have increased their number of IT staff, or the number of people in their IT staff. And this year is actually the lowest increase in the number of companies. So we're starting to see things flatten out a little bit. Now, among those companies that are increasing their IT staff, though, very healthy clip, they're increasing at about 22%. So, kind of similar to what we saw in the budget, where the increase is happening, it's happening at a healthy clip. The one thing I would say that we do see that's kind of interesting is more companies are in fact planning to hire contractors, so full-time 1099 contractors, as opposed to increasing their IT staff. And one thing I can tell you from our research, that does not correlate with success. So we measure success in a few different ways, but when you look at contractors, that doesn't correlate with success. So what companies who are looking at that might want to consider is, who are you hiring, what are you hiring for, and to really rethink whether you want a full-time staff member in that position because, like I said, the contractors are not always correlating with IT success.
With respect to business units, is spending increasing within the business units?
Yeah, so you're talking about the shadow IT budget, right? We definitely see that spending right now is flat, but keep in mind our research in this round is from the perspective of the IT leader. So from an IT person's perspective, that business spending on IT, i.e. the shadow IT budget, is flat. Now overall, we found that 62% of organizations actually have some shadow IT spending. So it's a pretty significant number of companies actually have some shadow IT spending. And when you talk to IT leaders, they're saying that going into 2015, they're expecting to see that decrease, just the amount of spending, because the IT leadership is really trying to rein that all in and say, look, all IT spending needs to be centralized so that we can leverage our economies of scale and our buying power and things like that. Now, whether that happens or not will be another story, because we also, talk to organizations that say, hey, the CMO or the head of sales is getting more and more involved in the IT spending. So there's a little bit of a conflict there as to what will really happen. The key driver, though, for IT spending, we did ask about that, and we found some interesting results in terms of agility. So the main reason why you have business units saying, hey, we want to spend on IT is they need to be able to spin things up and down faster, have more agility in what they're doing with IT, followed by just being able to customize what they want to do specifically for them, and also just budget. IT might say, hey, we'd love to do that for you, Mr. or Ms. Head of Sales, but we don't have the budget, so they kind of take it into their own hands.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. For more information on this and other technology topics, please visit us at nemertes.com.